I don't get it. I mean, why do you smoke? So quit. You know you should.
No, I steal them. He leaves the counter unlocked all the time.
Yeah, well, if it's anyone that needs peer pressure, it's that thief over there.
Don't call me that.
Why not? That's what you are.
It's hard to stop, but I'm telling you, it's worth it.
Yeah, you know you're right. I'm not going to let it control me. I'm going to stop. It's either that or I stop the job. I just can't look him in the eye anymore.
Good call, man.
You must have noticed the two levels of bad choice in that little drama.
Yes, there was the smoking choice, with bad consequences to health, probably delay until later on in life. And because it was the choice and consequence of addiction, our friends found he was stealing in order to maintain his habit.
It was the choice to steal that took our friend to a YOSHI level of right and wrong, and into the shame that meant he couldn't look the shop owner in the eye. Our shame leads to cover-up, and then we're afraid that when someone looks at us, they can see right through the cover that we're hiding behind. There is a YOSHI awareness of the difference between right and wrong, of good and evil, an awareness that we call conscience. Conscience either speaks with the voice of approval, acknowledging that we've acted to do good, or with a voice that condemns us for an action that has an evil basis, a voice that would guide us to change.
If that voice of an inner light, a guidance light, we'd better talk some more about that.
We will, because it's part of the guidance system by values that is the fourth strand in YOSHI's rope.
In living your life, you're going to face repeated choices, and it'll be very easy to get confused about how to handle those choices unless you have a value system to guide you. You'll get yourself lost in a maze of choices. Choice by choice, YOSHI has to ask himself, in this situation that I have to deal with, what's the good thing to do? What's the bad thing to do? That's going to let me settle on what's the right choice and what would be the wrong choice. The good thing to do is going to get my big tick. What's this spaceship trekking amongst the stars on a route through the darkness of space? What's that got to do with us talking about a guidance system within us? Well, the answer has to lie with a man who lived in Germany at the same time that Captain James Cook was navigating his way across the Pacific Ocean by the stars, just as Cooper had done before him. This philosopher, Immanuel Kant, said that two light systems in the dark astonished him. The first was the starry sky of fixed navigational lights, and the second was the light of conscience within us that gave a directional fix on getting through the darkness of untried, unexplored experience. It's conscience. And Yoshi was right to call it the voice of a guiding light, a voice that makes us feel good about our choice. That feeling good about choosing the good way as the right way to go makes the connection between the principles of your value system and your self-esteem, feeling good about yourself. Conscience has a role, you see, in making you feel good about yourself. Now we have to introduce you to another word, and that's integrity. Integrity means wholeness, wellness, based on sound and healthy morals. No gaps in your moral wholeness, weeding out the bad principles that support wrong actions.
today wins an historic gold medal. Switzerland first, Jones second for Australia.
Michel Ferris, Mike.
What a terrific ride. The crowd's gone absolutely ballistic. A new Olympic record.
Live within the laws, play within the rules. The value system sets the rules which are the boundaries to stay within. To go over the boundary is a transgression. That word means crossing over the line that you are meant to stay within. For example, the rules of rugby allow that a player with the ball can be tackled, but a head tackle goes beyond the boundary of the rule. It's a transgression because it can cause severe injury, and it's a transgression that will be penalized by the referee. Just as you won't be a winner in sports unless you're a rule-keeping player who's learned to play within the rules. In the same way, you won't be a success in your future unless you grow up to become a law-abiding citizen, a person who has learned to live within the laws.